Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again thank you for stopping by. So we'll get straight into this video. So this is basically the next installment of my Tamiya TT02B project performance, and this was a big one. This was putting the actual car on a proper modern day track. So yeah, interesting stuff. So there's a couple of things to say. I'm going to get this out of the way early. Please watch to the end, because I'm going to come back on and I'm going to go through the next stage of this, which I find mega interesting. But before we start, I'll show you obviously the running footage, and but I think it's really important, and I know the majority of you guys and girls will understand this, but I think it's really important that I put a kind of a prefix on what this was. So we went to, a massive thank you and shout out to my friend Peter, who picked me up and drove us to Xtreme RC in Oshawa. It's a hobby shop, and it's awesome. It's big, and it's got an indoor carpet track as well. The track itself is it's a fair size, but it's not a big track, so it makes it a very sort of technical circuit, which means there's not a lot of top end needed, but there's a lot of sort of tight corners, accelerating outer corners, turning in sharp and stuff. So basically we were quite up against it. I didn't have the luxury of just taking this one car. We stayed there all day, but while I was there, I've got to make the most of it. So I had another couple of Tamiyas running. And I run a couple of non-Tamiyas as well. You'll see the videos in the future. So yeah, so with that said, we have to bear in mind what I was doing. So I think what I'm saying is when you see the footage, you're not going to see this TT02B flying around this track, turning tight, doing massive jumps and handling superb. That's not what you're going to see. But you're going to see it in kind of real time. I kind of call it cheating on YouTube. You know, I could have, before I picked the camera up, I could have gone on and spent a couple of batteries going around the track and learning it and trying to improve, but that's not how you want to see things. So we just put the car down and off we went, and it was a massive, steep learning curve. I'm much more at home running 1/10 touring car on carpet. Buggies, when you've got jumps, it's a whole different ball game for me. And yeah, and especially with a modern track as well, you know. Anyway, the car itself, I just took the Stardish wheels and Tamiya dual block tyres with foams in. They're really at best a tarmac tyre, dirt tyre. They're not a carpet tyre. The setup was just what I thought. When we got there, the really nice chap there, and who worked there, and he was showing us round and he was telling us, and I just asked him about ride height, and he says everyone there runs around about 10 mil. So all you guys who shout at me for lowering my cars too low, I really don't. I really don't. This TT02B is going around with about 10 mil clearance, and it was fine. Anyway, so yeah, cheap radio gear in it, very cheap brushless combo in it. Gearing's not correct. When I run this, first of all, it was outside, that you might have seen the video, and the thing's ballistic. So I've just brought that straight in and put it on the track. So this might sound like excuses, but it's really not. I'm just trying to put into context what the purpose of this was. So I'll show you the footage now, and then we'll come back, and I just want to talk about sort of the next stage of this. Right guys, we're here, Xtreme RC. This is my little setup. So obviously a TT02B, ready to go, first run. Above we have TRF201 Manta Ray, some tools, and then here we have my good friend Peter. Say hello, Peter.
Hello.
And what's Peter running?
We got a B74.1D and a T6.2.
Fantastic. That's a beautiful piece of kit. So yeah, we'll have a quick look at the track next. Right, my friends, we'll just go back out there, and I'll just show you the track before we get going. And just up on the podium, this is what we've got. Right, so we're just getting ready to take the TT02B out for its first time. It's quite a short technical track, so this thing's pretty quick. So we'll just have to figure it out as it goes. But yeah, let's get it on the track and see what happens. Lovely. Right guys, TT02, first run. Let's not break anything.
54.2.
Whoa. Won't do this jump full just yet.
$25.3.
Yeah, that didn't work.
I so wish I could have been in a better position for that one, but like
52.6.
Through them with that big jump.
$34.3. $39.1.
Oops.
$24.6. $24.8. $21.5.
I will get that jump once.
it's hard to
26.3.
film. So I don't want to miss it. It's no good making the jump if we can't record it.
Very true. Not this time. Next time.
But it noses right down when you lay up, eh?
Yeah.
23.8.
I need to give it more power.
Ran it on his wheels.
40.2.
Yeah.
jump at all, is it?
24.8.
Yeah,
Oh.
the landing's really fussy with this thing jetting out here.
Yeah.
That's to keep people from just hauling it over there.
Yeah.
Flat.
Sure beats the driveway, Glenn.
There we go. I'll tell you what, it's doing way better than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah?
It really is.
Way! Oh, you got it.
Finally.
20.1.
I kept it on the screen, but that's it.
Getting a little bit cocky now.
And it's got like
19.4.
lipo cutoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. I'm really good on that section. You can kind of do that. It's this section here. Like that. Oh my gosh, I am sorry.
That's okay.
22.3.
I got steel toes on.
Good job. Right, we're going out for the second time. And I've got to be honest, that did way better than I thought it was going to do. So yeah, let's give it another run and see what happens.
16.6. Months. 29.6.
Maybe we should have did some practice laps.
28.7. 18.5.
There.
19.2.
Right guys, that was absolutely awesome. Obviously my driving's not, but the TT02B, it doesn't keep up with the big boys, but it can go around a track, a modern sort of track with jumps. Now, only thing that really stood out for me was the lack of steering. I was having to turn in really early just to get round certain corners. But other than that, that was good. And that main jump, as you're saying, there was a way of doing it, but I just need to practice and practice, because I was landing a lot and I was landing nose heavy. And then even if I was keeping the power on. Anyway, that's just a learning curve, I guess. So yeah, I think we'll call it a day on this one for now. So a massive thank you to Peter for being the cameraman.
I apologize for the footage already.
So for me, that is a huge success within the series of these videos and what I've been personally trying to achieve. I understand my driving's far from great, very, very far from great, but I hope you can appreciate what I was dealing with as well. So the car goes round a track, and I've watched TT02Bs go around tracks on YouTube, and I've always thought it looked a little bit uncomfortable. This didn't feel uncomfortable, to be honest. Obviously, I brought the track up into like left and right hand side. On the left hand side, I was really comfortable with it, but the right hand side and that big jump, I didn't like it. And talking about improvements and how I could make this better if I go back there, the first thing is get a full set of carpet tyres on there. I think that would make a huge difference. When I was blipping the throttle, I don't know if you could see it, but the wheels were spinning on the carpet. Again, dual block tyres. So if I got a real good set, or a proper set of carpet tyres with foams in and stuff, probably narrower fronts, you know, that would make a huge difference. Obviously, and if I wanted to spend it, so that's not a lot of money to make that improvement. The other thing that I really should do, but I won't, is buy a really sort of top end radio set and a really sort of high spec, maybe 13.5 brushless combo, to really get my reaction times and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of over the moon with it from what I wanted. Nothing broke, and it took a beating, you know. Unfortunately, because of that big jump, and the problem is with that big jump, well, there's many problems for me. You've got to hit it straight, so you're coming off a corner, and you've got to keep your speed up because the gearing wasn't right. It didn't have enough punch, so it needed a little bit of a run up. So I had to sort of come around that corner and go as fast as I could, but car's wanting to spin, and then you've got to get it straight and then hit the ramp full. And if you manage to land, and I think on the video I only actually land that jump twice, I think. And then as soon as you land it, you've got to turn right, right and left really quickly. So very complicated, very technical. I may have been better on a bigger track to start with, to be honest. So yeah, I have a question for you guys. Hopefully you're still watching. What I want to know is the biggest thing that I noticed while I was driving it, and there was many things that I wanted to improve, but was the steering. Now for me, the steering angle on this car is not too bad at all. It's not a million miles away from, you know, there's a lot of angle there. Oh, sorry, but you can see, a lot of angle. So I wasn't getting enough steering. Now, a lot of that is obviously down to the tyres. But my question is, and a shout out to Christopher if you're watching, I didn't build this TT02, Christopher did. Now I know he's put a much sort of thicker, harder grease in the front diff. Is that something I need to change for like going back to that track? So if I put the front down, the rear diff, just smooth as you like. Front diff, there's a bit of force to it. So yeah, that's my question. Obviously, imagine it's got the carpet tyres on. If I freed that diff up basically with thinner oil, grease, would that improve the steering? Would that help? Or is that kind of the way to go, making it a bit as it is? So if you could stick that in the comments, I'd really appreciate that, because yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that. The body set was awesome because it was all sealed. It kept really clean. As you can see, this thing had a lot of tumbles, and my TD4 wing mounts and this sort of custom wing. All, you know, nothing went wrong with it, so I was really chuffed. And as I said, I don't know if I said so before, nothing's broke on it, nothing's bent. Yeah, well chuffed with this. So yeah, I mean, purpose of this in the comments really is just you race guys. Yeah, and again, we're not trying to make this a Team Associated B74. You know, I understand that it's not. Please don't get me wrong, but yeah, this could be a lot better going around the track. First of all, today, as answered, or when I was at the track, it answered the question: Can I put this on the track, and would it feel okay? In this spec, it felt pretty good, so it would only get better. So going forward, I would like, what could you do to this to take it back to that carpet track? That's one thing. Now I know the answers: tyres, gearing. I'm not so bothered about better radio and better electrics and motor. I'm not that bothered about that. I'm more bothered about the setup side of it. So big shout out to Christopher, who actually got this car off. He sent me another little package, and he's put some TT02B alloy front hubs. Not too sure I'll fit them, but I took them with me in case I broke any. But I'm not going to replace anything on this car until it breaks. And he also sent me a full set of it's GPM, isn't it? Yeah, GPM front and rear arms, alloy arms. Didn't really want alloy arms on there, but again, I thought I'd take them with us and see what happens. So that's, maybe I'll use them in the future. Now, shout out to Van Tat, who sent me a little package. He sent me the Yeah Racing aluminium motor mount. Now, it's got one in already, but this is a one that's just got, the motor slides, whereas this one is just the holes, and it's quite complicated getting the meshing correct. Whereas this one takes that hassle completely out. So obviously you locate 2 screws, but your whole motor will twist, so I can get the ratio better, and that's important. He also, in that package, he sent me some spur gears. Now this particular one is off the FF03, but it's a 68.2 spur gear, and I'm pretty certain, but I will have to look this up, but I'm pretty certain that's the optional spur gear for the TT02B. So you'll see where I'm going now. So basically, with that spur and the biggest pinion you can fit on it, and I don't know what it is, but it's probably a 25, it might be bigger, that gives you your sort of the biggest high-end, top-end gear ratio you can get. So I'm sort of thinking for the future. Obviously, eventually, at some point, next opportunity, I do want to get this back to a track, but I want to turn up with the right stuff on. But I also fancy doing a speed run with it outside. It's something I've always wanted to do with a TT02B, because it's got the speed-tuned gear set on there already. So it's just a case of swapping it to that spur, and I will check if that's correct, and then putting that biggest pinion on. The ratios are in the manual, and run it on 2 and 3S and just see what it'd do. I mean, when I did, the fastest I've ever drove an RC car was, I think it's 64 miles an hour, and that was a TA05. But that had an 8.5 combo in there. This has just got the cheap, what is it, a 4370 combo in, so the KV's lower, so the RPM's lower. But I'm curious what this combo would do speed-wise, miles per hour wise, with that gearing. So I'm probably going to try that when the weather's better, and see if it's how close it is, because this thing is quick, and I've only run it on 2S. Anyway, I'm curious with that setup on maybe 3S, would it beat the 64 miles an hour? Because that was on 3S. And even if it doesn't, it's still going to be bloody quick. And that might, with summer coming, make me go buy like a speed run combo, but maybe go a bit lower this time. I think, as I said, I think it was an 8.5 or a 6.5 I used. No, it was an 8.5, so I might go for a 6.5. I find speedruns very pointless, and I know a lot of you guys do, but as a one-off every now and again, it's a real buzz, and I would personally like to hit 70 miles an hour, because that's bloody quick, isn't it? Anyway, I really have rattled on, but this has been an absolutely fantastic project. I've really loved every minute of it. It's been awesome. And another thing, and then I promise I'll shut up and go. There was a couple of guys, the guy who worked there, or one of the guys who worked there, and another gentleman who came over just as we were packing up, but they'd both seen the car running round. and they both had no idea it was a TT02B. Now, obviously, with the footage you've seen, that's all we shot, but I think the car went out another 2 times, so I probably had another 2 batteries through it. And obviously, when you're not having to worry about camera work and whatever, you drive better. Still wasn't hitting that big jump perfectly. Anyway, the 2 guys were pretty amazed, because it kind of does look like, because of the 511 503 body set on it, it kind of does look a little bit high end. If you know, if someone's just glancing at it, it certainly doesn't look like a Tamiya TT02B. But yeah, they were quite impressed with it. So yeah, this massive success. So you'll definitely see this car again. I would imagine the next time you see it will probably be a speed run when the spring's here. But yeah, next opportunity to get it to a track, I will be there. So this video's probably been, I bet there's nobody watching now. In fact, I'll put you to the test. If you're watching to the end, put in the comments, I watched to the end, and let's count how many. Anyway, my friends, as always, massively appreciated you watching my rubbish. And if you are new to this channel and you're still watching, you deserve a medal. But maybe you could give this video a thumbs up, and if you do that, go subscribe. And if you do that, you might as well hit that notification bell buzzer for our weekly videos. That'd be awesome. And as always, my friends, the Tamiya TT02B project performance is a success. Happy RCing.